I save the world. I save the world.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone.
I save the world.
As usual, it's always good to just be able to have the opportunity to be able to share my thoughts from the course perspective, and just to be here, just to be present with everyone. I have not been as present as I normally am because our softball season is getting ready to get started, and I've been doing a lot of practicing on Sunday mornings, but I still try to hop on as much as I can. One of the beauties of being able to have this on Zoom right now, so no matter where you are at, you can log on and listen to this beautiful messages that we get every week regarding that aspect of it. Also want to say happy belated Valentine's Day. Definitely the month of love that we love celebrating, which in my mind, we celebrate love every single day, every moment, everyone who we connect with regarding that aspect of it. And also want to say happy Black History Month as well. February is Black History Month, and want to say happy Black History Month as well. As usual, I always ask for guidance for what is it that I want to talk about. And it's very interesting of how what my initial thought was of what I wanted to share and talk about today when I knew I was going to be speaking shifted and changed where the Spirit wanted me to talk about voices, lifting our voices. And I'm like, okay, Spirit, that's what you want me to talk about. I have no idea what you want me to talk about regarding that aspect of it. But hey, all we could do is just turn it over and trust regarding it. And then I realized that probably part of the reason why is because Lift Every Voice actually and Sing is actually the Black National Anthem. And so this month I've been doing a lot of events for work. Regarding that for for Black History Month. And in every event that we have done, we actually played the song Lift Every Voice and Sing. And so I'm like, okay, Spirit, that's the reason why you kept getting in my mind that I should, talk about this and be able to reflect upon what that meant for me regarding that aspect of it. And I'm like, okay, I will just trust, turn it over, and do that. And so that's part of it. It really is one of the things I've learned more and more each year, each day, as been a course student and been a part of this, is that sometimes we just can't argue with what the Spirit wants you to do and just go with it and just trust, within regarding that aspect of it. And the interesting thing is Lift Every Voice and Sing. It's been around for over 120 some years. It's been around for quite a bit regarding the aspect of it. And what's interesting is I didn't know about it until probably I think like 10 years ago or something like that. At one of our events that I put on every year, the National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness event, and someone was like, "Listen, we should play this song for for our event." So I didn't know about it. It took me, many, many years until I knew about the song, itself. This, which also just says a lot about how much, at least in my mind, it's important for me to start studying my history a little bit more than I have, especially when it relates to my culture regarding that aspect of it. And so this what it's one of the things that I saw when I did a little research, a little bit more about the National Black Anthem. It was written during a fraught moment in the Black African American history. Well, at that time, it would have been Negro history, American history. At the dawn of the 20th century, post-Civil War Reconstruction efforts, where things were being dismantled, segregation had been codified through Plessy versus Ferguson, and a Jim Crow ring of terror and exploration was taking hold across the country. So, like around that time period when it actually started, coming about regarding that aspect of the whole idea of Lift Every Voice and Sing. And for me, the thing it just made me think and to reflect on how important, at least for me, to take the time and to really, really reflect on the whole idea of lifting every voice, not my own voice, but actually lifting a collective voice of every single individuals who we encounter. And so I was thinking about that, and I was like, processing that, and I realized for us as course students, we are fortunate Can we have a spirit or guidance to be able to, for us to listen to hear the voice that comes from the spirit and to be able to speak or sing or whatever it is regarding that aspect of it individually. But the key is now, though, is how is it that we're able to allow ourselves to lift other voices as well? And I think for us as course students and as healers, we have the opportunity to be able to do that, to be able to take the time to be able to really, listen to other voices. And I know, at least for me, at times that can be challenging. It could be challenging mainly because, sometimes I really don't want to hear other people's voices. I just want to hear my own voice. I really don't want to, pay attention to, regarding an aspect of it. But when we're doing that, we're not allowing ourselves to be connected. We're not being a collective individuals, I'm sorry, collective being here in this world that we are in. And so it's important for us to really listen to that, to really allow ourselves to pay attention to other individuals' voices, even though we may not always agree with them. And that's the thing, it's not about having to agree with individuals. It's just about creating that space for them to be able to actually say what they needed to say, regarding, themselves, regarding that aspect of it. And the course reminds us of this. It says, it is possible, even in this world, to hear only that voice and no other. It takes effort and great willingness to learn. And for me, that's one of the big parts of this, of that quote that I like, is that it takes effort and great willingness to learn. It's our willingness to learn, our willingness to have the open mind to be able to allow ourselves to listen to others. And for me, I experienced that these past few weeks where I had, a few challenges that I had to, check myself regarding that aspect of it. And one of the challenges was that a few weeks ago, I had to attend a weekend meeting. And these meetings can be intense at times. And everyone has their own thoughts, their own feelings, their own, whatever they want to bring to the table. And I found myself doing that weekend becoming angry. I found myself becoming frustrated. I found myself becoming judgmental. It's like all these things were happening. And then I realized the reason why that was happening was I was not coming from my spirit. I was allowing my ego mind to let all this judgment come forward. And because of that, that put a block where I was not able to listen to other people's voices. And then it made me to realize to take a moment, to take a second, to allow myself to breathe and to allow myself to really, really understand, in order for me to not be frustrated, in order for me to not to be in that judgment, in order for me to not get angry at what individuals had to say, is that I needed to allow myself to have an open mind and to listen, have my willingness to learn from others, to hear their perspective, to hear their voices, and to be able to allow that space to shape. And when I'm able to do that, when I'm able to allow myself just to take that moment and to truly, truly listen to other voices, I have a better sense of peace. I'm allowing myself just to feel here the healing that is taking place and being able to create that space, that sense for others to be able to share what they wanted to share. Then, of course, goes on and says this: the voice of the Holy Spirit is the call to atonement, or the restoration of the integrity of the mind. When the atonement is complete and the whole sonship is healed, there will be no call to return, but what God creates is eternal. these beautiful messages that the course continues to bring to light for us. And for me, that weekend, that was an opportunity for me to be able to allow myself to manifest a different energy than I was having initially when the meeting started. And fortunately, I had the opportunity to be able to do that when I was asked to lead a section, regarding diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I am telling you, being able to put aside my own ego mind, being able to allowing ourselves to create a space to allow every voices to come out was beautiful. Creating that space to hear everyone share their experiences, to share it in such a vulnerable, beautiful, insightful manner was remarkable to be able to see. And that happens when we allow ourselves to lift everyone's voices, not just ours. And as healers, as course students, we have the opportunity to be able to do that on so many levels. And for me, I was able to do that when I turned it over to the Spirit and I got out of my own way and let that space be for those who wanted to share where they were at. And for me, when I think about the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, I think that's what part of it, what it's about. It was an opportunity to go to these events or whatever it is, to be able to allow people to express who they are, to put it out into the universe. And the messages that we put out to the universe with everyone's voices, it's an opportunity for healing. It's an opportunity for us to allow ourselves to experience the love that actually really exists. And that happens when we allow ourselves, give ourselves the credit, the space for others, to allow others to come into a space where they can be that. And this song, Lift Every Voice and Sing, in my mind, that's part of what it was about. Because we recognize all the struggles that has happened in this world that we are in. But those struggles can be shifted and seen differently when we allow others' voices to come through. Allow those voices to come in a way where there's an opportunity to experience the healing, the opportunity to experience the light, the opportunity to experience the love. And that's what I experienced that weekend, especially in that DI group. Just to see and just to hear, it blew me away. It blew me away to hear individuals get that deep about what was going on with them and to share it in front of so many people. And that's because of removing any potential blocks and creating that space to let them know it is okay to allow your voice, not just my voice, but your voice, every single one of our voices to come through. And then the Course tells us this: direct communication was broken because you had made another voice through another will. The Holy Spirit calls you both to remember and to forget. And for me, this just reminded me of an incident that just happened just recently at work. As I mentioned, I've done a lot of different events for Black History Month. And there was another event that they wanted us to do regarding celebrating the Black African American colleagues who worked for the department, and specifically the ones who was very much involved with it. Response like, myself. I was not part of the planning committee, but yet my name kept coming up as one of the ones to be the co-host of the event to help lead it. And so with guidance, I was like, yeah, sure, no problem regarding an aspect of it. But yet, during that process, during the planning of this event, I noticed that we were not allowing others' voices to come forward. I noticed that we were stifling what individuals wanted to share. And I noticed that I got caught in the middle of what was going on and what was happening. I was just supposed to be the host of it, the co-host of it, just to lead the meeting itself and just to show up. But yet, some way, somehow, I got put into the middle of it, and people were coming to me. Times I was able to feel like I was coming from my truth and really listening to what was happening. But yet, there was just one particular incident where this individual wanted to share some things. And because of people felt either threatened or upset or whatever, we were going to ask them not to participate. And that didn't sit well with me. Something about that just did not feel well, to stifle someone's voice, especially another African American, where the purpose of this event was to celebrate our Black African Americans colleagues, and to stifle their voice. It just felt wrong to me. It just didn't feel right. And so I asked for guidance. And of course, reminds us of this. As a result, there are choices which you must make. In the holy state, the will is free, and then sense that its creative power is unlimited, but choice itself is meaningless. I had a choice. I had a choice to either continue to go with what individuals were playing or thinking, or allow myself to trust that it's important that we hear all voices that we ask to participate and not stifle them. My responsibility was to allow healing to happen. And by allowing healing to happen, that was about uplifting everyone's voice. And we did. We allowed this individual to participate. And it was incredible of what they had to bring to the table. We wouldn't have heard that if we would have stifled their voice. We never know when we have an opportunity to grow, to involve, and to heal if we stifle others' voice. It's about lifting it up, lifting everyone's voice. That's, in my mind, what it's about. That is my mind, what this whole Natural Black Anthem song is about. It's lifting each and every one of us voices, not to stifle it, because it's another opportunity for us to heal. It's another opportunity for us to connect together as one and not separate. And I'm so grateful that we allow this individual to speak. And I'm also even more grateful that this individual called us on it and asking us the reason why we were stifling their voice, and that we took the moment to listen to them and realize that we were not in the right to be able to do that. especially since the event was for our colleagues and they were part of that. I'm going to end with reading the Black National Anthem because since I can't sing, I'm going to read it. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat, have not our weary feet come to the place for which our Father died. We have come over a way that with tears have watered, we have come, treading the path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past till we now stand at last, where the white gleam of our brightest star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand. True to our God, true to our native land. Happy Black History Month, and that's my talk.
Woke up my eyes to see, woke up my head to beat, woke up my heart to be free, woke up our world with you and me. I've opened up my heart, I'm at the start. I save the world, I save the world, I save the world, I save